All right, hello. Hey everyone, James here. Welcome to the live session, Imposter Syndrome, one of our Educator Mindset Talk sessions this week. I have Steph here. Steph, can you speak now?
I can speak, but can you hear me,
No,
James?
I still can't hear you. Yeah.
Okay, just
Can
let
you
me.
restart then
Yeah,
come back? Yeah,
yeah,
restart,
yeah,
come back.
yeah.
Yeah, we have quite a few people watching right now. Yeah, feel free to drop in a comment and let us know who you are, where you tuning in. We're gonna wait for Steffi to fix the tech problem she's experiencing right now. Good. Anyone? And also let me check on the tag as well. So let me know where you are watching right now, so we know everything's fine because we are streaming this session to many places on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube as well. Yeah, I see some comments from YouTube. Rizwana, hey, YouTube, hello. Teresa, hello. And the Facebook user, hey, looking forward to this. Thank you. Marie, hello. YouTube, and Facebook. That's great. Anyone on LinkedIn? Anyone on LinkedIn? It's yeah. Let me see here. So I think we have a problem with LinkedIn, with Instagram as well. Give me 1 second here. Here. Okay, good. Hello, everyone. Amy from YouTube. A lot of people from YouTube, Facebook. Hey, Kitty. Hello. It's good to see you guys here. All right. So just before we get started, right? We're gonna have three mindset talk sessions this week. Um, Let me just share my screen with you guys so I can explain this, right? Before we get started, and we are waiting for Steffi to join us as well. She's having some tech challenges right now. Let me share my screen. Share screen window. This one. Yep. So some of you probably know this month is our mindset month. Okay, we focus a lot on mindset. I've been sending emails about mindset, and we have scheduled workshops and live sessions about mindset. We really want to use this month to help everyone work on their mindset, get started with the 2024, get the most out of 2024, right? So very quickly, for this month, we have a lot of mindset events. So the most important one, I would recommend everyone to register and join us if you can. Also get recording. It's a 3D mindset workshop, and Steffi gonna use the time to help you guys develop your goals, and also set up a plan, actionable steps to help you turn your goals into tangible achievements. I'm gonna share this link with you guys where you can actually register here. It's completely free. It's a three workshop with us from January 23 to 25th. And if you don't have time, don't worry. If you register, we'll send you the recordings as well. All right. And we have 7 days, 22 hours, okay, left. Then about the Educator Mindset Talk series, we have planned for 4 sessions. As you can see, 4 sessions. And once you get this link, this web page, right? You are able to click on this link to join any one of these. So today is Imposter Syndrome. On Wednesday this week, January 17th, we're gonna talk about fear of failure and success. And then on Friday this week, we're gonna talk about fear of promoting your product services, right? And then on January 30th, I think that's a Tuesday, end of the month, and we didn't have any sessions in the third week because that's the week we're gonna have the mindset workshop. And the last week of this month, we're gonna have the money mindset. Okay, money mindset. So if you click on any of these links, you will be able to join these sessions. You have to make sure you block the time on your calendar. You don't miss it, right? It's all of the sessions. I see Steffi's back. Let me get her to the stage. Steffi, can you speak now?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me? You
No.
can't.
Yeah. Do you have
What's
this problem before?
no, not this one before.
Okay. Can you use your phone? Can you try your phone?
My phone, yes, I can. Let me
Yeah,
just.
with the same link, try your phone, please.
Yep.
And leave this one. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. You guys can hear her? Ah, okay. Let me get her back. Sorry. That's me. Okay, gotcha. Oh, let me get Steffi back. Sorry, I think that was me. That was me. Oh, okay. Good. Awesome. Thank you guys. Yeah, I think that was me. Thanks for letting me know. Yep. Anyways, okay, so we're gonna wait for her to get back. Okay, so these are the mindset sessions. Let me share the link with you. So and also keep this link. So we just kind of launched this webpage. We want to organize all of our events. This is a monthly event, so we're gonna keep updating the link as well. You're gonna have this link here. Okay, it was me. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Great. So let's get started with the imposter syndrome. Okay. I want you guys to tell me what do you so what is the imposter syndrome to you? To be honest, because I'm not a native speaker, right? I didn't really understand what imposter syndrome was until I started this business because I just kept hearing from the clients, right? So but I feel like maybe the understanding of imposter syndrome is different among all of us. I want you guys to come tell me what you think what is imposter syndrome to you. Please put it in the comments. Okay, put it in the comments. Will today's session be available after today? Yeah, so all the sessions are recorded. If you have to leave early or you join late, just use the same link. The same link, you can watch the recordings. Okay, so what is the imposter syndrome to you? Katie, let me stop sharing here. Katie, when you feel like you are not qualified, not good enough to teach your subject, great. I think that's correct to me. That's kind of how I feel about it. Fear to be someone you think we think we're not. That's yeah, that's great. Even though people tell me that I'm good at what I do, I feel like I'm not good enough for or doing enough. Nice. Facebook not feeling like an expert, always thinking we are not good enough, or worse, feeling that we're deceiving people. Yeah, Virginia, this is great way to look at it. Feeling like you are not good enough to do what you are doing, feeling unqualified to provide the service you are offering. It's nice. Teresa, lack of self belief. You don't know your own worth or the value you add to people's lives. Yeah, I think everything is uh I agree with you guys. Okay, I agree with you. And so imposter syndrome, why I guess why we are experiencing imposter syndrome. I think I can start with the one story, one of my stories. And then Steffi, when she comes back, she's gonna talk about her stories, and then we can talk about how what we can do to handle that, right? So my stories actually related to my business. The first story related to my business. So I remember, so in January 2019, like exact 5 years ago, when I first started a business, I decided to help English teachers. At the beginning, I help English teachers with their business, help them get students online or with their marketing sales training, right? So actually I had a lot of doubts at first, and I didn't feel very confident. I think that was imposter syndrome I had at first. um, because I feel like at that time, even now, my English is not perfect. At that time, I feel like my English is not good enough. I was like, am I good enough to even work with English teachers? Would they judge me? Would they just kind of make a assumption based on my English? Was like, you can't even speak English perfectly. How can you help us, right? So that's kind of what I felt, and um, that kind of stayed with me for a long time until probably a few months, at least a few months into my business. I keep hearing the good things about what I do, and I'm seeing results from our clients. And I actually ask some of my clients just for feedback. I was like, did my English was my English a problem when you first decided to work with me? And they were like, no. That actually um, surprised me because I always felt that was my kind of weakness, and that actually uh, disqualified me in a way to work with them. And that they actually said no, it was not a problem. And some clients even like helping me with my English in a way, not because just as a student, they just want to help me, and they never thought my English gonna actually affect the quality of services I can provide, and that they always trust me for that. So this kind of my story at first, like 5 years ago when I had the imposter syndrome. Hey, Steffi, welcome back. So I think the problem is mine. I have a problem with my. I think I can. Can you say something now? Yeah. Wait.
You
Hello.
can
Say it again.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can hear you now. Yeah, but not all the time. Can you say something now?
Yes, I can. So I'm just
Okay. No, what do you guys think? I can only hear the beginning part of the. Yeah, it's cutting in and out. Yeah.
okay.
So it was me. So actually, people can hear from you when you use your laptop. Are you in your phone right now?
Now I'm on my phone, but I can go to my laptop again.
Yeah. Can you don't stop this one? Just go on your laptop. Let's try. Sorry about that. That's complete me. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
All
of
right.
course.
So the voice a little bit awkward. Now she's clear. Yeah. I think they said now it's clear. But anyways, yeah, this is my story at the beginning, like imposter syndrome, and now fast forward to now, a lot of people feel like, hey James, you've been doing business for so long, and you probably have been challenging yourself for a very long time. Do you still have imposter syndrome? So the answer is yes. The answer is yes. I actually had that not very long time ago. I think that was probably a few months ago. I joined a program where there are a lot of mentors who are very successful, very successful. It's a very successful, and they invite me to one of the events, right? And I had these fears, and I at that time I okay. Um, okay, let me remove that. Can you say something now, Steffi?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, good now. I
Yes.
think I can
Okay.
hear you very clearly.
Yeah.
All right. Good, 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 good. Yeah. So let me finish my story. I'll pass it to you, Steffi, about imposter syndrome. So my second story is about recently. Actually, I thought I would never have imposter syndrome anymore because I feel like I have grown so much in the past few years. But recently, when I joined a group with a lot of very very successful entrepreneurs, and when I was at an event, I felt imposter syndrome again. So I just like, am I good enough? They were like asking me for advice. I was like, am I good enough to offer that advice because they are much more successful than myself? So I guess from my two stories, I want to kind of share with you guys maybe two messages. Number one, I feel like imposter syndrome is always there. It's not only you. I think everybody has that. I think it doesn't matter who you are, like where you are. There are always occasions where you're gonna feel imposter syndrome. So it's always gonna be there. And number two is when we have imposter syndrome, at least what I do is I'll just do it anyways. So I kind of recognize I have the imposter syndrome, then I'll do it anyways, just like what I did when I first started business. I started anyways, and then when I see the results, when I see actually I'm delivering, that help me overcome the imposter syndrome. So this kind of my two messages from my two stories. Now I'm passing to you, Steffi, if you want to share a little bit. I was asking people like about their imposter syndrome, like how they define, how they feel imposter syndrome. I think everyone are on the same page in terms of what it is.
So hello everyone, and so sorry about this first
No,
technical.
no, my bad, Steffi, my bad.
And also my voice is a little bit funny, so I can't hear you very well because for some reason, yeah, I can't hear very well, and I've got a sore throat. But about imposter syndrome, so I really like what you said, James, about feeling good enough in that particular situation, what you were doing, and overcoming your imposter syndrome by just feeling good enough in that moment. And I've experienced feeling and being an imposter many times in my life. But I would love to mention two situations mainly, and maybe share through those situations as well how I dealt with my imposter syndrome. So the very first one was when I was an English general English teacher, and then I started being independent, a niche teacher entrepreneur, and I had my niche psychologists who wanted to become better in their therapy sessions in English with their patients. And all of a sudden, I had to shift from a general English teacher to being a specialized niche teacher entrepreneur, which was exciting. But at the same time, I felt like an imposter because I haven't studied psychology. I haven't studied specialized psychological terms in terms about mental health. I didn't know how to create a tailored specialized program because before I was not creating programs. I didn't even know how to promote myself on social media because before I used to put the profile picture or change it once in 3 years. So no social media presence. So a lot of things that made me question my adequacy, my competence, and my skills. And it was really hard. But what was really helping me, quite a few things, but you mentioned already a few of them. I was just taking it step by step, meaning that, of course, I wanted to become as much expert as possible in what I was doing with my niche. But I set myself like simpler goals or milestones on this journey. And then I was continuously becoming better because I was studying that area, that niche, and me being a niche teacher entrepreneur. So one thing was just to set these milestones I was going for. But before even that, it was very important for me to acknowledge that it's okay to feel imposter, and actually to reframe my mind that feeling imposter can be a good thing because it means that you are acknowledging that you can always be better. So it's not like, oh, I've become an expert in something and I never have to improve. So when I acknowledge that, okay, it's okay to feel imposter, and how can I look at it from a different, more empowering angle? And it was, okay, maybe I can study more this field and this niche, and every time I will become better and better, but in every single situation. So for example, when I was coaching my clients in English, or when I was creating a post, or when I was sending the sales message, or having a strategy session with my clients, I tried my best to feel good enough in that moment. And then later, of course, as you said as well, when you do the thing and you do your best, then you get results, or your clients get results, and then those clients results is a boost for you. So what I was doing, because those moments of feeling imposter or not good enough were quite persistent, so I had a file with all the, not just testimonials, but all the comments from my clients and from everybody who was commenting on my skills. And it was positive comments where, for example, somebody was saying, oh, now I can pronounce these words correctly with my English speaking patients. Or now I feel really confident, not just in English, but in the Czech language to present about mental health. So all these comments and reviews of my skills, I put in in one file. And then when I felt down or imposter and I was doubting myself, I just went to that file and I reviewed that as often as needed. So that was really, really helping. And yeah, there are more things, but let me just check some comments from people. If you have any questions, anybody. So yeah, that was one situation. I don't know, James, with you when you mentioned that getting results from your clients or people you were helping were helping you with your imposter. Was there anything else how you were dealing with imposter?
Yeah, I guess what you said there earlier. So first of all, we need to recognize it.
Mm.
everyone recognizes it, right? If you feel like you had imposter syndrome, that means you know what it is. So even for me, like previously, probably I had a moment, similar moments before when I was in my undergrad, or even during the time I grew up, or even when I was in a PhD program. So I didn't know what it was. So I didn't know what it was. Right now, I have a really good definition of imposter syndrome. I can kind of define, okay, that moment, oh, I'm the in the moment of imposter syndrome. So then I think you just speak that loud to just kind of recognize what it is, and then just accept it. It's fine, and then you just keep doing what you're supposed to do. I think it's fine. So most of the time, I think that's something what I heard similar stories to what Steffi said. A lot of clients, especially if they're starting a business, especially at the beginning, they all have this because we're trying to be someone we're not, right? That does it make sense, to you guys? We're trying to be someone we don't think we are yet, right? When I first started, working with teachers, I'm trying to do something I've never done before, and then I'm trying to be someone I'm not there yet, right? And when you start your business as well, and when you publish your book for the first time, right? That's your first time. You are trying to tell people you're author, like you're writing something, but that's your first time ever. And then, of course, feel like you're not qualified because you've never done it before, right? And I also see some teachers, educators, they they just in order, because they have imposter syndrome, right? Instead of doing it anyways, they actually just keep looking for qualifications, just
Mm.
take exams, take courses,
Mm.
on and on, just keep doing, but they never actually they never actually overcome imposter syndrome by taking these courses. You see what I mean? Because what does it mean like you are not qualified? Who qualify you? Like, right? So it's like a you, it's not others, it's really you. You qualify yourself. But regardless of how many courses you take, how many certificates you have, how long your titles are, right? You qualify yourself. So it's here. It's not like something on paper. It's not something like you can show people, okay, I have these qualifications, and people might feel like good about you, but still you are qualifying yourself, right? So to me, my approach, just like what I said, do it anyways, and then let the results convince you. Let's say you're building your business, you get clients, that's great result. They're telling you, oh, you are not a fraud, right? You actually getting people results. If you want to sell something online, you put together educational resource, you put together a book, right? Let the sales speak for the results, right? If you get somebody bought and they give you a 5-star review, that's great. But you are not going to get any of these if you get stopped by imposter syndrome, and you will never see the results that are actually going to help you overcome these imposter syndrome. So that's kind of how I feel like we recognize it. Okay, I just like, oh, I caught a cold. No, just like what Steffi said, oh, I got a cold. That's it. Recognize, right? I'll take some pills. I'll relax. Same thing with the imposter syndrome. Oh, that's the imposter syndrome. Oh, okay. I'm not doing it anyways. I'll see some results and then it will be gone, right? I think that's my approach.
Yeah, so true, James. And I like how you said that when you get results, of course, it's a external positive boost of your skills. But despite this, some people still feel not adequate enough. Even when they get some results, they still try to focus on the negative part of it, of them not feeling good enough. But what I wanted to say as well is that at the beginning, it is harder. If, let's say, when I started being a niche teacher entrepreneur and my very first client, that was quite a shock for me as well, like to charge 3 times more per hour and deliver. And I thought I had to deliver at that level, and I didn't think that anything changed inside me during that short period of time. So what I had to um, say to myself was that I will do my best right now with whatever skills, energy, awareness, and competence I have about this niche, about this entrepreneurship. And with that, really, like, I will do my best, really help me do my best in that moment. Of course, my best 3 months after that was different than from no, 3 months ago, because I was improving by continuously reading about mental health, psychologists, engaging in their comments and posts on LinkedIn, and I was becoming better and better. But at the beginning, I will do my best, whatever I can do right now. And the thing is, I always ask myself, so what is the worst thing that can happen? And since we are not doctors that we deal with people's lives, that somebody can die because, of us not doing the thing well. So the worst thing that can happen, you will have a really bad session with someone, or you will have a really bad post or a strategy session, whatever that is. Um, and then kind of thinking about like, how can I cope with it? Or, what can happen actually, or what is the best thing that can happen? And usually the best thing that can happen when we go into something is is much more worth doing it than when we think about the worst case scenario. And usually that worst case scenario never happens, so I've never got such a negative feedback. Even though I felt like I was not really good enough in that session, I still didn't get negative feedback, because it's usually we are quite perfectionist. As somebody said as well, yes, how to overcome this perfectionism. I don't know who said it, but
Yeah.
it's that. Yeah.
And this comment, I have this book too, but I haven't finished reading it. So a
Mm,
great comparison is motion versus actions from the Atomic Habits, a really good book. Getting more certificates is motion, but only action, doing the work really counts. Yeah, I like that. I like that very much. So I think number one is mindset. Number
yeah.
two is action. So oftentimes is no, as we said earlier, it's all here. It's the mindset. It's you. It's not others. Like we when we feel imposter syndrome, we I think it's a fear of judgment, a fear of a lot of things, how people think about you, how people react to you is all you think is all others, but end of the day it's you, yourself. Yourself. I think that's something we need to recognize is yourself. Who you need to work on, right? You need to work on yourself, and you have to tell yourself you have to shift your mindset so you think differently, right? You think differently. It's kind of important too. There are a
Yeah.
lot of comments still there. Yes, Evie, please go ahead.
It is saying, I think the key is to identify what you are expert in, instead of worrying about what you are not. So this is a very good point, Katie. And actually, I made one post a few weeks ago, like, when do you know when you are an expert in what you do? And I got like maybe 30 or 50 different comments. So we define somebody being an expert in different ways, or different people define being an expert in different ways. So we don't even know what expert means. Like, there is not just one single definition. But as you said, Katie, I would say, like, we need to acknowledge and identify what we are good at, and then that's the skill we need to improve every time. And already we are an expert in that moment, like, because we cannot do better than what we can do in that moment. Of course, in the future we can, but some people focus on this, like, half empty glass or half full. So, like, you can say, okay, I made my first 3 posts already. I had the first session with my niche client, and I had, let's say, 2 successful strategy sessions. Or you can say, I made 3 posts and nobody engaged. Or I had 15 failed strategy sessions. Or I had 3 sessions and clients were not really impressed. They were not kind of commenting a lot about that session. So it depends how we look at that one situation. And I do feel like it's always helpful to look at the situation in an empowering way. This doesn't mean that you are trying to ignore that you can improve, but it doesn't help you when you are negative in that moment and trying to put yourself down. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah, and I want to read this comment from Teresa. When I
Mm.
started niche teaching, I dealt with imposter syndrome by making a list of all the skills I have in other areas, all the experience that could be transferred to my new role as a niche teacher. That's great. So, no, my approach was doing it anyways, but there are always things that help you make it easier. I think that's one of the things you can do as well. Whatever you do next, like things you never done before, looking at what you have done previously and see if there's things that can help you feel better about yourself, right? I've never been a niche teacher. I've never published book, but have you ever developed any materials or have you ever taught anyone, right? There are skills transferable. So that will make you feel better when you make the transition, when you try to overcome this imposter syndrome. Great advice, Teresa. Thank you for sharing that.
Transferable skills, exactly. That's how you try to look at it, is half full glass. That what I, or at that was from Katie as well. So what I'm good at already, or what skills I already have. And as, let's say, teacher entrepreneurs, even like you've been a teacher, so the first part, you've been a teacher for many years, and there are a lot of transferable skills that you will just transfer to this niche, new teacher entrepreneurship role. And yes, so I like that too.
And one more from Virginia. There will always be someone better and someone not as good as we are. Comparing our insights to someone else outside is pointless and harmful. Yeah, be realistic. Be realistic and do what you know to do. Yeah, action, right? Action. The comparison does not, help all the time, right? Oftentimes when you see someone, if that one is visible to you, probably they are much better than you already because they are visible already, right? But you don't know there are a lot of people who probably are not as good as you are. So comparison doesn't really mean a lot. So really focus on action, focus on what you're supposed to deliver and to do. And even you're not expert yet, just have the goal to be the expert by when, right? So that's more, I think, more useful than just making all these comparisons and then tell yourself out of it.
Exactly. And also, like, what I like to say here is that what I used to do is I got inspired from my future self, how I would love to be. So I got some inspiration from there. And from that inspiration, I was taking action in those coaching sessions, my posts, my strategy sessions. But at the same time, when there was any comparison, I tried to compare myself to where I was before. So not myself to somebody else, because everybody's journey is different, but I used to compare myself to where I was, let's say, before this niche teaching entrepreneurship, and then after that. And that comparison was for me very encouraging and helpful. And this was helping with imposter, because when I compared how much I've come in that period of time, it was like, wow, like it's possible to grow and to feel better every time at what you do.
Yeah. Someone else, I really on Facebook. So we cannot see your name if you're on Facebook, unfortunately. So I think I really need to work on my mindset. I have the skills, but I'm not able to convey them properly. So I am so happy to see this because that has been something has been one of the reasons we have the entire month dedicated to mindset. Just to remind you, I know a lot of more people join right now. To remind you guys, we have this mindset events throughout the month. Okay, today is the first one, imposter syndrome, and we're gonna have another one, fear of failure and success, on Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. 10 a.m. Eastern time. Oh, I need to add Eastern time here. 10 a.m. Eastern time. You can check on these links. You know when it is, and okay, here as well. So there are times on the poster. So fear of failure and success on Wednesday, fear of promoting yourself on Friday, and we also got money mindsets on January 30th, which is Tuesday at the end of the month. And the biggest event we're gonna run this month is um the mindset workshop where Steffi can actually work with you to define your goals, to help you come up with the actionable steps so you can turn your goals into tangible results in 2024. Okay, so click on this link. It will take you to a Zoom link here. Okay, I'm gonna share this link with you guys. Register so Zoom can remind you and send you the Zoom link. This is a then you can join us live for the 3 days. If you cannot join us, you can always if you register, we're gonna send you the recordings as well. Okay, so just want to remind you guys to make sure join us in these events. And if you feel like a mindset is something you want to work on, we have this entire month here to help you guys with the mindset. And I think that's great to have it in the first month of the year because we can have the clear goals and we can find ways to turn these goals into reality in 2024. All right, I'll get back to you, Rafi.
So this is definitely a topic I'm very enthusiastic about, and I love speaking about goal setting, and then setting um, sustainable and enjoyable actions towards those goals. And we are going to do that in those 3 days, as you said, James, next week. And it's all about the mindset, really. And as it was said here, that yes, I need to work on my mindset because I'm not able to convey my skills. And yes, I just wanted to mention one example we had with two teachers, who teacher entrepreneurs who were having the same niche, even the same region. They had pretty much similar experience and years of experience in teaching, even the same qualifications. So I would say like almost like everything similar. And yet one teacher entrepreneur was doing really well and the other not. And that the one who was not doing that well acknowledged that it's the mindset, that they don't feel they feel good enough to implement the skills they have or even strategies we were teaching them. So this workshop as well that you mentioned, James, is there will be some strategy, but I do feel like many people already have enough strategies, and I'm sure many people set goals for 2024 or previous years. And so I do think people have strategies, but what we are going to do in this workshop, we are going to actually look at the mindset part, how we can implement those strategies confidently and effectively. So that will be about mindset um, workshop. Yes, and then I'm not sure if you can hear that, James. I see that, James, but from somebody saying my biggest challenge is myself in perfectionism. It helped me from taking action, creating content, and making myself visible. Now, as I have been able to decrease my perfectionism, um, I've been creating more content, taken actions to create my own digital courses, and so on. But still, a lot to do or to overcome perfectionism and imposter syndrome. Yes, so definitely I think there's not something like we can overcome, because as James mentioned and a few of you as well, there will always be new challenges and things we've never done, and we will not feel good enough in that area. If we want to grow, there will always be those moments. So I think the healthier way is to acknowledge there will be those moments when we will feel imposter, and it's important to acknowledge them and even express how we feel, and then do something about it. What really helps me as well, I just want to mention, when because this comment is here, is to be really in the community of like-minded people. Because let's say I was not that confident about my skills as a niche teacher entrepreneur to start with, but when I saw other teacher entrepreneurs who were general English teachers before and then they transferred to this entrepreneurship, I was encouraged that like it's possible, and I could share even my kind of failures or my maybe challenges with them. So I feel like if you are with the like-minded people, that does help with your imposter syndrome. Of course, if you don't try to compare yourself to others, because that can be detrimental to your process as well. um yes, Katie is saying the idea of growth mindset and development goals. Exactly, Katie.
Yeah, I want to comment on the perfectionism and the imposter syndrome. I think they are very much related to each
Mm,
other, right? Think about this, right? Why a lot of people are such a perfectionist, because they have
mm,
imposter syndrome. They feel like when they perfect things, they will look more like more
mm,
likely look like a expert, right? I think
mm,
that's related. So just because I have imposter syndrome, so I just keep working on something that good enough that I think everybody gonna think this is great, and I will be expert, right? So I think they're related. But the reality is, so first of all, there's no perfection,
mm,
right? You're If you're chasing perfection, you're gonna just spend more and more time. I have clients, we've heard from teachers who spend like 6 months, 1 year to develop something, right? And then they never launched it. They never
mm,
make it public available, because as I said, if you are chasing that perfection, you will never feel satisfied. Right? So, if you use that as a way to overcome imposter syndrome, feeling like, okay, if my product, my service is perfect, and then I wouldn't be an imposter anymore. That's not true, because that's not how you handle it. You're gonna still feel like an imposter, and still have this imposter syndrome, and then you cannot have your product perfected at the end. So I just want to kind of talk about
mm.
it too, because I feel like they're very much related. Why they are a perfectionist, and how imposter syndrome actually make it worse in this situation.
So true, and that's what is resonated with me really, James, when I started this 21-day teacher entrepreneur challenge, because your concept was very much like draft, test or sell, and then perfect or improve, right? Because before, what I was doing, I was just trying to make everything perfect and then present it to other people. But the other way around, when you just create something that you think is good, then you sell it or test it, then the next one can be you can make it better or improve it the best way that is possible, and it's a much more sustainable way. And also I think like us as teachers, when we are being more sustainable in the way we approach these situations and not trying to be perfect, we are setting good examples for our students as well, for our clients and students, because many of them don't really need to know more vocabulary or grammar when they study English or even other subjects. They have a lot of knowledge, but they don't have enough courage to speak fluently because they don't feel like their English is perfect or whatever subject they need to do is perfect. So I feel like the best way to demonstrate those students that they don't have to be perfect to to become someone or to do something is by us following the same example, right? So just to embrace that imperfect, being imperfect, right? That's what I would say here.
Oh, this one, Yosi, that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
kind of echoes what I said earlier. So as we grow, right, the imposter grows to gets the next level,
Hmm.
growing both together. So when you like you have imposter syndrome right now, you overcome the imposter syndrome, you get the next level. There's another imposter syndrome gonna come
Oh,
with
true.
you.
I like that.
Make friends with it. Exactly. That's so true. Yosi, thanks for sharing that. That's great. That's great. Yeah, so this next one, community really helps you overcome these struggles, right? It's not about competition, but we all have different strengths. Yes. So
Mhm.
just having these sessions right now, right? Just talk about it, right? Just seeing what other teachers and educators say about their experience with imposter syndrome. That help you realize, okay, I'm not alone. This happens to everyone, right? That's why I want to share my stories. Steffi wants to share her stories. It just want to let you guys know, like we're all the same and we are all here. We have all been tortured by imposter syndrome before, and it's okay. Just like what Elsie said, no, make friends with it. Make friends with it. I like that, Elsie. That's great.
A good piece of
Uh,
advice, Jose. Yeah,
yeah,
and even as I saying, you don't have to be an expert in everything, just one step ahead of your client. Exactly. Just one step ahead. And then it is to be good enough for that situation. I just need to be one step ahead so that I can train them in that, but I don't have to be an expert in everything. It's not necessary. And I don't think there is a person who is an expert in everything. Even if they are an expert in their field, there is still, I'm sure, one area and one small detail they are not aware of. So, and I don't think it's even needed for them being expert enough to feel like they know everything.
that's great. That's great. Yeah. So, how do you guys feel so far? I do want to let you guys comment and tell us. So
Mm,
we've talked a lot of these kind of ways of handling imposter syndrome, and I want you guys to comment with the one thing you want to try next time. One thing you want to try, like what one thing that you've learned from this session, or you heard other people saying in a comment that you want to try next time when you have imposter syndrome again. So please comment and let us know in the chat so we can read some of these. In the meantime, there's a really long comment from Leanne. Let me read it. I had this when I started as a niche writing coach. I was making lots of PPTs that were taking me hours to do because they need to be perfect. They never were. Exactly, they never were. Now I have a more balanced approach, and because I believe in myself more. Yeah, so the imposter syndrome, like you're handling imposter syndrome, that help you with the perfectionism as well. It's so much easier to do my job and I enjoy making curriculum and teaching much more than I had done for a while. I also have that in waves with content creation. I just coming out of a month, a long frozen phase where I couldn't post a thing. Okay, and then I can't see that the rest of it. But thanks for sharing that, Leanne. It's great. Thank you. Yeah. So please comment. Let us know like what the one thing that you want to try next time. Or try next time to help you overcome the imposter syndrome.
I can already see Simon's comment, James. Talk to my future self, my C type self, and have her duke it out with the imposter syndrome troll.
Mhm.
Love that, Simon.
Yeah, this is a very mindset approach. Work on your mindset. Don't rely on anything else but yourself. Shift your mindset. Talk to yourself, right? Work on that. And there are quite a few more. Yeah, we do have another guest, Anuska, waiting. So I'll let Anuska share her story as well with us in a minute. Let me read some other comments here. So,
Yes. Teresa. Uh,
oh,
yes. Mhm.
Vanilla. Yeah, I will save the good comments from students and keep them in a folder to read when I feel down. Exactly, that's what I do too. Sometimes it's hard. No, it's really hard. Like you start doubting yourself. You start feeling like, okay, is it really worth it doing all of this work? Right? In some, go to the folder, your folder, right, with all these good things about you. It helps. Teresa, I think looking back at what you have achieved, very helpful. That's great. I recently ran away from a yoga instructor who said he can fix all the problem the group participant had. Too much confidence, and especially I didn't buy it. Okay, it's a different thing. All right.
True.
Uh, okay. Um, in my new niche, I have no idea about the technical vocabulary, but all I know is how I can help them with the grammar and structure. That's great. This is comment on. So I'm not seeing any link. Oh, I'm seeing LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn's good. Yeah. So thanks. Keep commenting with your feedback, takeaways, and how you want to, deal with the imposter syndrome, given what we shared today. And now I'm gonna just add Anuska, just a special guest here to the live session. Hey, Anuska, yeah, you need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi. Hi
Hey,
everyone. Hi James and Steffi.
hey, good to have you here. Yeah, tell us your story with the imposter syndrome.
Okay. All right. So I'm still pretty new, but I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. Three things that I could say have helped me would be one, first of all, is not just keeping the positive comments in like a folder, but what I did is I shared it with I take screenshots of them and I share it with family and friends, because when
Uh,
I am down, or if I'm like, oh my gosh, why didn't this sales call work, I could go back and read as many comments as I want. But when I have my network around me that I see every day, they were saying, they will remind me of all the good comments that I had gotten, and they are an external cheerleading team, so they
That's
keep me going rather than me behind a computer or just waiting for somebody to respond to an email. I kind of widen my network of support by bringing in my social circle, not just the teachers on the network, because they're all busy. They mightn't respond right away, but I see my friends, my family every day. And so so I've kind of done that. That's one. That helps. They remind me that I'm not as terrible as I may think I am. And two, but one thing that I've had, even from my prior experience of teaching, not online teaching, for those who are looking in and think that I probably had experience in online teaching before, it was not. But it's just that I tell myself that if I really want to get rid of this sense of feeling not good enough, then I need to make myself good enough. I need to therefore to start. I can't become an expert and feel confident if I don't try. So I know that I will fail along the way, but I have to make a step. I have to try and maybe fail and get a little better. So I kind of tell myself, do something, make the attempt, and gradually I will that feeling of being an imposter will gradually die down, or at least fade into the background, as I start making gains and I start making steps. But I can't stay in a hole and hope that one day somebody will pull me out. I have to start climbing out. So that's my second the second thing I tell myself. And the third thing that I also remind myself of, and this is from my days of being an administrator, is the word perfection. I like, James, that you tied the imposter syndrome to being a perfectionist, because the word perfection is very subjective, and what is perfect to me might not necessarily be perfect to somebody else. And I'll give my example. I have a couple examples actually. So I did the 21-day challenge last year, as you, James and Safi, know. And in preparing for some of my strategy sessions, I was on a call, this guy from Morocco, and he's working with this international company, etc. And I was winging it, like you secretly are just winging it, but looking confident. And I'm thinking to myself, I hope that this is what he's looking for. And at the end of like 20 minutes or something like that, he's like, this is exactly what I need. I didn't think it was that what I said was that strong, because I'm still new. He's like, this is perfect. And that's the guy who said, can I invite a couple of friends? Because they could do just what you've offered. So what was not perfect for me was perfect for him. Thank God, you know. So he's like, so I don't need to be perfect, because in my sense, I will always judge myself much
Yeah.
more harshly.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Mhm.
like I need to understand that, you know, I need to put something forward and give them a chance to tell me. And I tell them that also in these sessions. Like, if I've presented something that you think I can make a little better, a little closer to what you're looking for, feel free to share, so that I let them know that I am the expert, but I'm working with you. And that gives me the chance to kind of refine and
Mhm.
perfect what I have as well. So it's just kind of pulling those different, I guess, strategies together and talking to myself. That has really helped me a lot to keep going, even though I haven't been a miracle story, but I think I'm doing pretty well, and I'm going strong. So
That's
that's
good.
my little
That's good.
contribution there.
Well, you are quite a miracle story example, Anushka. To be honest, I really like how you structure these three very important tips, suggestions. And when you said it's perfectionism, it is so true. Like, what is perfect to us is not necessarily perfect to our
Right.
students.
Mm-hmm.
I was the other way around because I felt imposter. I over delivered, so I felt like because I don't feel good enough, just being in this new niche, I'm going to give them even more. I don't know, vocabulary access and practice, and I even extended my hour from 1 hour to 1 hour and a half just to kind of make it up. And then what I got feedback from my client was definitely that if you only deliver 30% of what you do, that's good enough already for me. And to be honest, now it's overwhelming. I don't feel I learn as much because it's kind of like
Yes.
too much or too good. I wanted it to be perfect, but actually being perfect, it may be too much over the top for some people.
Yes. Yes,
I,
that happened also with me, because another person that I did a lesson for, she wanted to learn technical vocabulary. And she tells me environmental engineering is my niche. And she says that she's reading the Environmental Engineering Act, which is like 300 and something pages. So, I mean, from the very beginning, it could have been overwhelming. And I just told myself, if I'm going to do this, I need to take one step at a time. And I just took one step. And then I did a lot of research for my lessons. So I thought I had like planned like enough for one lesson, but it was so compact that the material that I planned for like that one lesson, my first lesson, took me like the three trial lessons. Yes, because I let her set the piece. And I realized that one, preparation
yeah.
helps a lot to kind of calm that feeling of being an imposter. Doing your research, that helps a lot. And then, you know, telling yourself that, letting the other person tell you what they're, I call it eating, how much they can eat. Then in terms of, yeah, I liken it to like to eating. I will prepare a buffet for you, and then you just take as much as you need. And then that kind of allayed my fears, because I already had probably like 10 lessons planned I didn't know I had in the beginning. I was doing for like a few, you know, but that made it much calmer
Yeah.
for me. And she was so pleased. She said, I'm so thorough. And she was enthusiastic. And she told me that she needs to improve her general English first, though. And she says that when she has improved, she's going to come back to me to continue with the technical vocab. So, you know, all of that, it builds my confidence that I'm doing something right. In the
Yeah.
meantime, I'm going to be like trying out some people to, you know, to try to refine my product. But I know I'm a work in progress, so I'm not expecting
Yeah.
myself to get it just right from the
Yeah.
very beginning. It's
Yeah.
not realistic, you know.
Yeah.
So true. And as you said, Anushka, or you reminded us, it's connected with perfectionism. And when I think about it myself, who do we want to connect with on social media when it comes to coaches? With people who are all perfect and everything is going well in their life, like everything they are mastering, or people who actually admit that they are learning and life happens and there are quite a lot of challenges. So I feel many times as well students want to connect with real people, and as real people, we grow and we make mistakes and we get challenges and we get challenged,
Yeah,
and
why not?
right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I like that buffet comparison, and Ilse likes it too. I really like that. I didn't think about this analogy before, Anushka. So
Okay.
so good. And you took the first part that I was saying, actually, like, yeah, make a file of the things that people comment and everything. And actually, I was doing the same thing. I was sharing this with my coaches and with the group of people I was taking the program with. And that's exactly what happened. What you said, Anushka, when I was doubting myself, like, oh, can I do it? Can I scale in my business? Can I do this? They reminded me, do you remember this client who said this to you, and this client? And then I remember as well, Anushka, and I know you didn't mention this one, but with my previous kind of like friends or acquaintances and my extended family members, when I was starting, when you share your challenges with business and everything, and not as much the things that went well or like your wins, accomplishments. And then what happens out of love, but they remind you your challenges. Like, you see,
Yes.
I told you it's challenging. Just get a proper job in a proper, full-time school or something. Don't be niche to entrepreneur. So kind of like, this is a very good reminder. I wish I had known this before, Anushka, to tell them actually about about my achievements more than my challenges, so that they could have reminded me of my accomplishments, not my challenges when I
Right.
need.
True. True.
That's good. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Anushka. And I wish we have more time, but no, we are kind of on the top of our hour now. Yeah, guys. This is the first one. I know we can just keep talking about it and keep going with it. We have two more sessions this week. One is on Wednesday, one's on Thursday, both about fears. Okay, so you guys have a lot of fears, then come to these sessions, join us, and part of the mindset series we're gonna do. I'm gonna have a money mindset at the end of this month, and don't forget to join the 3-day goal setting mindset workshop with Steffi. Steffi has been working really hard in the past 2 weeks to prepare for the workshop, right? Please register, and even if you don't have time to join, I know it's a live session, so if you cannot join, you can always register to get the recordings, okay? Recordings, so we know who are sending the recording to. So before we finish, right, I want to ask you guys maybe comment with one or two takeaways from the session, and any feedback or anything that we can get from you before we finish the session. Feel free to comment with a few takeaways if you have, and don't forget to like this session if you haven't. I hope you have enjoyed this session. Yeah. Let me read some of the takeaways. Feel free to share some takeaways. What is the one thing you want to bring home, right? About imposter syndrome. What you gonna do differently next time when it comes to imposter syndrome? And,
Mm. Yep,
yep.
that's a good point. And also, like, maybe those of you who are planning to join, you can just write me or joining, so that we know who from here is joining as well. And those of you who can join the live sessions and even the recordings, if you can just watch the recordings, I suggest that you bring a pen and paper, because we are going to do the real work. We are going to have a very immersive experience, and really set you for 2024 as successful educators.
It's great. I mean, do you want to release a little bit more of
Yes,
the workshop? Just
I'm so excited about it. Yeah, I'm so I have spent, I have to say, I have spent the majority of my time during my day preparing for this workshop for a few weeks already, because I'm so excited about it. And the first day will be really connecting your goals to your purpose in life. And that will be quite a big topic, but at the same time you will take whatever you need to take from that session. So I cannot promise you will know your purpose after this session, but you will know how to approach that as well, at least, and connect your goals to your purpose, because that's one of the reasons why many people don't achieve their goals, because it's not related to their purpose, or it's not really even close to what they desire to do in life. That will be day one, and a bit of my stories. So I will be demonstrating everything I will be telling you on my stories, and also stories of some of our team members as well. So James, you will share your story as well. On day two, it will be a little bit more specific. We will need a pen and paper. We will have a meditation or like visualization into the future, and you will have to write things down. So you will have a goal, actually three goals, by the end of that session. And then we will look at who you need to become to achieve those goals. And on day three, we will even invite a guest who is going to help us with setting or deciding to do the right actions towards those goals, because that's very important, right? Just to set a goal, this is just the first part of it, but then to take actions which are not just stressful actions, but really enjoyable, sustainable actions. So the opposite of the burning out kind of strategy, right? And we will have a host who is going to help us with that as well, or a guest, sorry. And so yeah, that will be it. So it will be the goal,
good.
taking actions for that goal.
That's a lot. No, if you feel like mindset is something you want to work on, don't miss this session, okay? And there are quite a few takeaways. People are saying that having a community. Some think this is a takeaway focus for me this year. A lot of people are going to the workshop. Yeah, keeping a note of positive comments from students. A lot of people doing that. That's great. Very excited for the workshop and take action regardless of your demons in the head. Make friends, right? It also make friends of with the imposter syndrome. Very useful information from Onelia. Thank you guys. It's been a very quick hour with you guys. Don't miss our sessions on Wednesday, Friday if you want to talk about fears, and of course to register for the 3D workshop, and you can work with Steffi in this workshop. And thank you again, Anuska, to share your stories with us, and very insightful, and it helps a lot. And Steffi as well. Thank you guys for joining us today. We'll see you on Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye,
Thank
everyone.
you so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. See you on Wednesday.